Good Sunday morning, Facebook and YouTube. How you doing? I am Kendrick, the sports guy, and guess what time it is? It is time to talk a little Sunday sports, give you a wrap-up of some of the sports happenings of the week. I am Kendrick, the sports guy. Hope you all are having a great start to your Memorial Day weekend, which is now the official start of summer. So hope you all are getting ready for some of them good old cookouts. If you're on the lake doing your thing, JWC says, I'm loving this 3-day weekend. That's what's happening. I'm live on TikTok as well, Facebook and YouTube. If you see me, glance over here. We already got the chat room filled with a couple of people already. But you know the drill here on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you come in, like this live stream, share it to your social media platforms, and subscribe to the YouTube channels. Those channels are Kendrick Sports Hustle, that's SporTZ, HUSTLE, as well as TFG Sports Media. And make sure you comment. Don't be hiding in those bushes. Let me know where you're watching from. Again, I know everybody's probably enjoying their Memorial Day weekend. So come in and comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And I got to do this. This is, I got to talk to my doggone Wi-Fi connection over here on YouTube and Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, because it always wants to show its ASS. So let me tell it right now, because it's a little delay I'm already seeing on YouTube and Facebook. Let me tell my Wi-Fi connection. You come in here, you sit down, don't touch nothing, behave, and we'd rather see you than hear you. So we don't want no buffering issues. So I have to talk to my Wi-Fi, see if it's going to obey my command. So again, what we're talking about today, first segment, we're going to talk about recapping the NBA Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference Finals with the Pacers and the Knicks. They actually tip off. Game 3 tips off tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. on TNT. The Knicks are in a hole, a big one. They down 2-0. We're going to recap the Timberwolves and the Thunder. That series now is 2-1. The T-Wolves got the big win on last night. And also, we're just going to kind of talk about the latest in NFL happenings. I see you, T. Corey 324, the Bears. It never amazes me that, God dang it, it's always some Bears fans that find their way in my TikTok live stream chat. But what's happening, T. Corey 324? I hope you are having a good one. So again, let's go ahead and get down to business. Raiders, I see you, Matthew. We got a Raiders fan over in the TikTok chat. Well, let's go ahead and get down to business. Let's talk about the NBA Conference Finals. Let's start off with the game that went down last night. The T-Wolves put a 143-piece on the Thunder. They won Game 3, 143-101. The Thunder's now still leads this series 2-1. This game was over pretty much after the first quarter. The first quarter, I believe the T-Wolves were up by 17. They ended up being up by 31 at the half, and that was a wrap for Game 3. The Thunder just didn't even show up. I guess they left their game back in Oklahoma City. Speaking of the 42-point victory by the T-Wolves, that is the largest margin of victory ever against a 65-win team. By the way, the Oklahoma City Thunder had the best record in the league regular season. They won 68 games, and that was the largest margin of victory either in the regular or postseason against a 65-win team. Again, the Thunder they put up a clunker last night. They should have known the T-Wolves was going to come in because, their backs were against the wall. They were already down 2-0, and they knew that the Wolves, that is, they knew that they were going to have to get this game. They couldn't afford to go down 3-0. So, again, Anthony Edwards, one of my favorite players to watch, the packet's so weak. Yeah, your spelling is weak too, JB. Learn how to spell if you're gonna try to come out my Packers. I don't know who the packets are. I'm sure they are weak. Yeah. Get your spelling game up, JB. we got guys over here in TikTok, and I love it. Just to let you know, I don't have a problem with guys, ladies and gentlemen, coming at me And so it's pretty funny that they come in at me all the time with the Packers. I know, but I love it. I love the back and forth and the trash talk. But again, Anthony Edwards, and I've said this before, he is my favorite current NBA player to watch. He put a 30-piece on the Thunder last night. He had 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Julius Randle chipped in 24 points and 4 rebounds. So, again, the T-Wolves took care of home. That was they were supposed to do, just like the Oklahoma City Thunder. They took care of home in the first 2 games. So Lions winning it all, Smog is saying. A lot of my people in my TikTok chat, it's all about football. They don't really like to talk anything else, and that's cool. So we go see. So again, T-Wolves, they got to put another one together. I mean, they had to get this game. So tomorrow night, they got to put it together. As far as the Thunder, MVP winner, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he was held to only 14 points. Didn't shoot the ball well. He had 6 assists. Jalen Williams also had 10 points, 5 rebounds for the Thunder. And the Thunder only shot 40% from the field. T-Wolves cranked their defense up just a little bit. And they only shot 31% from the 3-point line, too. They were 14 for 44. That is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, again, the T-Wolves got the W. They took care of home. They were what they were supposed to do, 143-101. The Thunder lead this series 2-1. Game 4 is tomorrow night back in Minnesota. Now, the game tonight, the Knicks at the Pacers. Again, that tips off tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. on TNT. The Knicks are in trouble. They are in a 2-0 hole. They lost their first 2 games at home. Who would have thought that? And I picked the Knicks to win this series in 7. And I'm now not really thinking that this thing might happen. Because the Knicks got a long hill to climb. The Pacers took game 2 in New York, 114-109. Pascal Siakam, he had a playoff career high for the Pacers of 39 points. He was 15 for 23 from the field. Jalen Brunson in a losing effort for the Knicks. He had 36 points, 11 assists. Now, I did read that Tom Thibodeau was thinking about making a starting lineup change, maybe sending Karl Anthony Towns to the bench and starting Mitchell Robinson. That is something I read earlier on ESPN this morning. And I think that might be, defensively, Karl Anthony Towns is somewhat of a defensive liability. I think maybe, Tom, you got to shake it up a little bit. That's a possibility. So Cat could be coming off the bench in game 3. Tom Thibodeau was probably trying to shake it up because defensively they haven't had good rotations. They hadn't defended well, and Cat has kind of been the odd man out. What's up, Preston? How you doing? Good Sunday to you. Happy Memorial Day to you. So again, the Knicks are in a do-or-die situation tonight. Matter of fact, the Pacers have won 6 games in a row since they last lost that game to the Bucks, I believe, on the road. Since then, they have won 6 in a row. And check out this little bit of information. No team has lost the first 2 games at home and came back to win the series in the history of a 7-game series in the NBA. So the Knicks they in trouble, man. Obviously, Jalen Brunson is your guy. We're talking about the NBA Conference Finals, Peppers. Specifically, we're talking about the game tonight, the Knicks at the Pacers. This series, Jalen Brunson is going to give you, the Pacers are actually doing what I would let them do. Let Brunson get his and see if anybody else can score. Go Pack, go. That's what's up. But it's going to take more than Brunson. Jason Hart is going to have to come through. They're going to take more than that because the Indiana Pacers, they are playing really well. Tyrese Halliburton is doing his thing. Then you got Siakam. He put up 39 last game. They got a balanced team and they defend well. That is the Pacers. So the New York Knicks got a big hill to climb, but they got to get that. They got to go to Indiana and they got to get that win tonight. And I think it's going to be tough for them. I think Indiana may take this game tonight, and I think the Knicks are going to be staring at 3-0, and they could be staring at getting swept. That's a possibility because Indiana is really in that groove. You got to give it up to head coach Rick Carlisle. He's got these guys playing well, playing confident. Teams feed off the Garden crowd. pressure on Indiana. Honestly, I agree, Patricio. I believe I said that right there, Toro. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. So Indiana, it's going to be rocking. You know, speaking of which, they got the Indy 500 going on today too. So it's a lot of things. It's going to be rocking tonight in I think they call it the Field House. I can't remember what they call Indiana's home stadium, but it's going to be rocking. The New York Knicks is going to have a tough go of it tonight. Speaking of this series, you know, it's a lot of history between these two teams when it comes to NBA playoffs. This is the 50th playoff matchup between the Knicks and the Pacers. And the Pacers lead this series 28-22 all time, by the way. I was kind of surprised by that when I found that stat. Dean Roberts, 2152, says New England Patriots got a good team. We'll see. Everybody looks good on paper, but we'll see when it's time to put them pads on and get between those white lines. Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Thank you, Zachy. I couldn't think. I knew it's called Fieldhouse something. Drake May is the real deal. We'll see. You'll see. We ain't got enough film on him yet. We'll see. We'll see what Mike Vrabel and them can do, what Josh McDaniels could do with Drake May. So we got a Patriot fan over in the chat on TikTok as well. So again, that's the NBA conference finals again. The Western Conference last night, Game 3, Timberwolves took down the Thunder 143-101. That series now is 2-1. Tonight we got the Eastern Conference finals. Got the Knicks at Indiana Pacers. The Pacers 2-0. Now let's just talk a little bit of NFL. No just as I was this Jay they wanted to they were looking to trade Jalen Ramsey. He actually has 3 years on that contract extension that he just signed in November. So he's under contract to 2028. Yeah, and if you watching me on Facebook or YouTube, it's a little delay. And my Wi-Fi it didn't listen to me, but we're gonna keep it rocking and rolling. Dean Roberts says Travion Henderson is the explosive running back out of Ohio State. Good pickup for New England. Obviously, Dean Roberts is a New England Patriots fan. Again, they in that AFC East. They gonna have to get. Can they compete with Buffalo? Because Buffalo is probably the best team in that division. Then Miami is probably second. The Jets, you don't really know what they're gonna have. But I think New England is putting together a couple of young guys, and they got a new coaching staff, and we're going to see what they're going to do. But the news on the Jalen Ramsey deal is there are a couple of teams that's interested in trading for him. Matter of fact, his old team, the team he won the Super Bowl with, the LA Rams, according to reports, is one team that's interested in Mr. Ramsey. Also, another team that's interested is the Cincinnati Bengals, is interested in possibly bringing Jalen Ramsey on as a cornerback. There was a report out that came out on X, formerly known as Twitter, by Brian Broaddus, who's the Dallas Cowboys insider, that said that the Cowboys was even interested in maybe trading for Jalen Ramsey. Well, I read this morning that, according to Brian Broaddus, that's not necessarily true. The Cowboys most likely aren't interested in trading for the former Super Bowl champ, Jalen Ramsey. So again, keep your eye out, keep your ears and eyes open for Jalen Ramsey. Somebody is probably going to try to make a move for him. I did see the Arizona Cardinals might be interested in bringing him on too. So Jalen Ramsey most likely will not stay a Miami Dolphin when it comes time for training camp. And speaking of training camp, let's talk about the Hard Knocks training camp version. Now, you all know that Hard Knocks had penciled in back a couple of months ago. They were prepared to follow Bill Belichick and his new gig with the new North Carolina Tar Heels, him transitioning from the NFL to the college game. Tyler Hilliard said, "Go Lions." Boo! Tyler, speaking of what, I think you've been in here before, Tyler, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually located in Tyler, Texas, that is. Appreciate that gift of badge too. Bears fan is back. Go Bears, go. I see you, Luke K13. Yeah, man, you had an interested. Appreciate you popping back in. The Cardinals may be interested in Jalen Ramsey as well. But I was talking about Hard Knocks. The new Hard Knocks, it was supposed to follow the North Carolina Tar Heels with Bill Belichick. Well, now Now that training camp version is going to be the Buffalo Bills. That is going to be the Hard Knocks training camp. If you check that out on HBA, y'all need a receiving identity. Who's Tyler talking about? I don't know who you're talking about on that, Tyler. Dead End Magazine says Bears fans here, but that GB room is tough. Thank you, Dead End Magazines, but I have to be honest with you, Dead End Magazines. I appreciate you popping in. It's actually a still I'm running through my green screen, but it is my man cave wish. I wish to eventually have a man cave just like this. I just so happen to find this still photo, and I'm able to run it through my green screen, but I appreciate that. And the Bears are in here. I think I always have more Bears fans than anybody in my chat on TikTok. Speaking of which, if you're watching me on Facebook and YouTube, I'm live on my TikTok as well, Kendrick Henderson 51. So that's going to be the Hard Knock training camp. Follow the Buffalo Bills, obviously. I think they signed Joey Bosa. They got, Josh Allen for reigning NFL MVP. What will this season look like for them? Will they finally get over the hump, trying to, get to that elusive Super Bowl and win one? They are 0-4 in Super Bowls. So that's going to be the team that NFL Films follow in the Hard Knocks training camp edition. Now, the in-season edition, which is going to be a second year where they're going to follow a division. Last year, the Hard Knocks in-season followed the AFC North. One of the I always say that's one of the more competitive divisions in the NFL. Well, this season, they're going to be focusing on the NFC East. And who leads that division? None other than the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. So that is going to be the in-season focus on the NFC East, which it is a good pick due to the fact new head coach in Dallas, Brian Schottenheimer. You got the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. Can they repeat as division champs as well as Super Bowl champs? By the way, no team in the NFC East has repeated as division champ since, I believe it was 2004. So it's been a long time since they even had a repeat division champ. What would the Giants look like? Brian Daboll. They drafted Jackson Dart, but they brought in two veterans, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, who would be the starter there and all that. So the Giants got some issues. I think Brian Daboll may be on a hot seat, and the Washington Commanders, can they continue and follow the success of that 12-5 season they had under their rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels? Dan Quinn came in and changed the whole atmosphere and the whole trajectory of that franchise, as well as the new ownership group. So the NFC East is going to be interesting to watch. Now, the thing is about the end season, I think they normally don't air those episodes don't air till like the second week of December, because I think they wait until around after Thanksgiving to start following the teams because a lot of times those NFC, those division races are really tight when you start getting to November, December. SSG Mayo says, I want a Packers man cave like that one day. Me too, SSG Mayo. We're going to speak it into the atmosphere. We're going to have one like that, my good brother. Bob, GPG, what's happening, Bob? Eagles Nation will FAFO the hard way. Okay. Well, we're going to see. But so the NFC East is going to be the focus of NFC Hard Knocks. And, I was looking, and I think the NFC East is the only division where all four teams have ever won a Super Bowl. I believe that's someone in my chat told me that on a couple of days ago. So that's a pretty cool stat, and I didn't realize that. And if I could be wrong, but I think that is the only division of football where all four teams have won the Super Bowl. Chamberlain said that's true. Okay, okay. So that's pretty cool. So again, that's who's going to be followed in the Hard Knocks edition. The end season, it will be the NFC East. Speaking on some reality news from the NFL, it ain't really football news, but it's kind of news. Did y'all see where Heisman Trophy winner and the second pick in NFL draft, Travis Hunter, he married his longtime high school sweetheart yesterday. They got married. Leanna Lene, I believe is how you spell their name. They got married on yesterday in Athens, Tennessee. They were high school sweethearts. She actually followed him when he went to Jackson State and to Colorado. They finally tied the knot, and she's expecting too. They posted some pictures. I think she's back active now on TikTok. Showed her in her dress, showed her big ring, and showed her pregnant belly. They faced a lot of scrutiny. Their relationship took a lot of heat from a lot of people on social media, not me. I try to stay out of people's personal business. That's their business. But they took a lot of heat during his Heisman, the Heisman Trophy ceremony, where she did more so than Travis Hunter. Then you had a lot of people want to weigh in on what they thought the young brother should do. He shouldn't marry her. She ain't even worth it. She just after his money, this and that. Whoop-de-woo. Appreciate the follow too, Mason. Yeah, go Pack Go. Appreciate that, brother. So my thing is, the young brother got married yesterday. He married his fiance. Hey, man, congratulations to him. Hey, the one thing I can say about love, man, the heart wants what the heart wants, no matter what nobody tell you, especially when you're young. So it is what it is. I got Ruben Herrera, happy for the young couple. I am too. Again, everybody always want to comment on people's relationships. And my thing is, if they're happy and if she make him happy and he make her happy, so be it. It is what it is. So again, I ran across that on the internet on today. And speaking of it ain't really a wet marriage because it's over, I guess. Anybody like Around the Horn? Love is the man. Yes, he is, Smelly Feet. Appreciate you popping in. Make sure y'all tap that screen, get them likes up. Anybody, what's your favorite sports show to watch? Sports debate show. Doesn't even have to be debate, just sports show. Just like to know. Kevin King gonna step it up this year. I hope so. If we can keep him healthy, Garrett. Just to let you know, one of the iconic ESPN sports debate shows, PTI. Chamberlain says PTI. I like Pardon the Interruption, always have. I love Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser. I think they got the best relationship-wise. Kalen King. Okay, got you, Garrett. Around the Horn had its final hurrah on Friday. After 4,953 episodes in 23 years, it was a wrap. Around the Horn actually was the lead into PTI. Tony Reale, who hosted it for 21 years, he took over in 2004 after Max Kellerman, who I think a lot of people didn't realize Max Kellerman actually was the original host for Around the Horn for 2 years. Then he left. Well, it ended its broadcast on Friday. So the big talk is what is going to be the show to take that 4 p.m. Eastern time slot now. We don't know, but I did read reports that ESPN had plans for Mr. Shannon Sharp to have his own show. That hasn't been confirmed. Just a couple of different rumor reports I've seen. Well, that has had to be put on the back burner due to Mr. Sharp's civil lawsuit and this other stuff that's going on. You know what's going on. I don't have to fill you in. You already know. Chamberlain says PTI and Around the Horn both taped in D.C. I didn't know that. Well, I knew PTI did. I didn't know Around the Horn did too. Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't know that. So now that they're going, what is going to be, what is going to be the show that lead into PTI? I really have no idea. I don't even know what I would like to see there. But, the one thing I liked about Around the Horn was that, it took newspaper columnists from around the country, and it was about the hot sports topics of the day. It wasn't about the hot takes like we see now on these debate shows. It was about the hot topics in whatever sport it may be. And you had ladies and gentlemen that were, their background was sports journalism, was sports media. Unlike most of the sports debate shows and sports podcasts you see now, it's about former athletes that have taken over pretty much. So you don't really have the journalistic part where there is a rhyme and reason to journalism, believe it or not, the reporting. My background, by the way, just to let you know, my background is television news, journalism, and sports. I was a video journalist for some years. I did sports and news. That's the one thing I liked about Around the Horn, because I don't think we're going to ever see a show where you're going to have a show of panelists that actually have a background in sports broadcasting, sports journalism, or whatever you have it. And it also made a lot of these columnists who were basically newspaper people, it made them household names. You know, Bob Ryan, Boston Globe, Jackie McMullen, Kevin Blackistone, Woody Page, Bill Plaskey, J.A. Adonde, just to name a few. And, you know, you had some up-and-comers like Jamel Hill that actually, you know, got a little stint on there. So Around the Horn, again, it is done after 23 years. And so we don't know what is going to be replacing it. Chamberlain says, when I began watching, there was a good mix of sportscaster involved. I know, Chamberlain, and unfortunately, we've gotten away from that. You know, but I think it's because the viewers, I think the execs look at the ratings, and the viewers, you know what they want? The viewers want the hot takes and the yelling and the screaming. That's what they want to see. They want to see that. And I'm not throwing no shade at, you know, Stephen A. Smith. That's his thing. And I'm happy for the brother getting his money. But that's really what, you know, that's really what gets the clicks and the views. You know, go to YouTube. I guarantee you, a lot of the sports podcasters that I follow on YouTube, it's not about reporting sports. It's about reporting a bunch of reality stuff and nonsense about who can go at each other, who can, you know, who you know, the biggest thing story as well has been this week has been Ryan Clark versus RG3. Their take on the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark situation. And what they should have been talking about was the actual basketball game, but it started, they ran off on a whole nother tangent on it, you know. Chamberlain says it went down when the Chicago Reporter got into legal trouble. Yeah, so that's where we at, man. You know, again, you like what you like. We all, you know, we like what we like, and I get it. But I'm definitely going to miss the Around the Horn, the part, because it included panelists again with journalism background. Got it says there's always something messy, not the comp. Perfect comment. Got it. It is. It is. Sport, and that's why I want to ask you guys, do you think sports media now has turned into the WWE? Is it just like a bunch of petty, messy drama sales? Unfortunately, Kev, you're exactly right. That's what it is. And it's really, beyond, quite frankly with me, it's really getting on my nerves. I try to stay away from the drama stuff. I really do. I mean, some things you can't avoid, obviously. You know, like especially like when the Shannon Sharp civil lawsuit dropped. You gotta report that. You gotta talk about that because that's big news. But some of the stuff that I see, especially on YouTube, you got a lot of these content creators and sports creators and it's former athletes that got their podcasts going at each other. You know, it just, again, it's like a bunch of high school, to me, squabbles. And I think we should be more professional to that. And I just went off on my tangent, and I shouldn't have, but there it is. But it's at the expense of undercovering athletes that are really good. That's a good point too. Got it. Because you're right. Because a lot of the athletes that should be getting shine, that should be getting talked about, you're not getting it. They're not getting it. They're you know, you got to go find and dig and find those stories, but then the people aren't really wanting to watch those. You know, reporting was supposed to be just talk about the sports, talk about the game, give us your analysis on it, and that's okay to throw your own little opinion in there. I get that because we all have an opinion, and that's cool too. But just keep it like that. Let's cut all this old crazy. I'm gonna go at this guy. I'm gonna respond to him on social media rather than, all right, if we're gonna go at each other, let's go live with each other then. Let's hammer this out live rather than going back and forth tit for tat in social media. So again, that's my tangent. I'm done. I'm done with that. But anyway, I'm about to get out of here, guys. I want to thank everybody that popped in. I just wanted to pop in and give you about 30 minutes. Again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy. You can catch me here every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, giving you the latest updates on what's going on in sports. Jaja 101 asks, what do you think about the Giants this year? I think Brian Daboll is on the hot seat, Jaja. I think bringing in Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson is a good move to kind of give you some stability at that quarterback position. But I think they are dumpster fire. I do. I think this is it. This is making a breaker for Brian Daboll. He's out of there. Antonio Brown has joined. Ah, Antonio Brown. Come on back, AB. Come on back. Is that the real Antonio Brown? You all right, man? I saw that video of you, man. Somebody trying to jump you and take your chain, brother. You good? Come on back in here. Hey, man, I know that ain't the real Antonio Brown. I'm just tripping. But Antonio Brown has joined the chat, ladies and gentlemen. But I think he left. Come on back in here, AB. We got love for you, man. You been clowning though. You been clowning. That move you pulled with the Buccaneers when you quit at halftime, Playboy. That was interesting. I gotta give you your that was interesting. I ain't never seen nobody quit. Well, actually, you weren't the first person to quit at halftime. I think you was the first football player to actually take your jersey off and throw it in and run in. But I got to give you to you. That was all right. Lunatic Niners fan says, what's up, man? The 49ers will see y'all in the playoffs this year. I hope so, Lunatic Niner fan, because we got to get over the hump because the 49ers have been a thorn in our ass the last couple of years. And I would love to see the 49ers in the playoffs so we can get that damn monkey off our back. But thanks for popping in, too. Y'all appreciate the follow, too, Lunatic Niner fan. Again, if y'all just missed it, Antonio Brown had joined the chat, but he left. I think he probably had a rap record to go make. He probably had to go back to the studio because he's a rap artist too, by the way. But anyway, all right, guys, man, it's 11:32. Again, I want to thank y'all for popping in and joining me here on YouTube and Facebook as well. Make sure you can subscribe to my YouTube channels. That is TFG Sports Media, as well as Kendrick Sports also on YouTube. You can follow them both on Facebook. You can also follow me here on TikTok, Kendrick Henderson 51, and on Instagram at Kdrick1969. And also, again, you catch me here every Sunday morning, 11 a.m., talking sports. And then you can catch me on Fridays right here at 12 noon, where we're doing our Freestyle Friday sports and doing all that. Matthew Golden going to be a top 15 receiver this year. I'm with that, Braden Thompson. I agree. So, again, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. You have a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend. Don't eat too much barbecue. And be careful out on that lake if you decide to go out on that lake, because it is the official start of summer, all right? So you all have a good one. I'm Kendrick, the sports guy. We will see you on the other side. And on the next report, I am out. Peace.